In today's show, we're going to look at how you use the PowerApps Timer Control. We're going to use that control to create a stopwatch. We're going to talk about how to do a timer control reset and start and stop with other buttons. We're also going to then look at how you take that and use it as part of navigation to maybe stick a user on a screen that you want them to have to sit there for a while. It's a little fun. So hopefully it's a nice little tool for you to add to your tool belt to make some cool solutions going forward. But first, before we do any of that, here's our intro. Hi, my name is Shane Young with Bold Zebras, those guys. And today's show is all about the PowerApps Timer Control. The good news is it's a pretty fast little tool. We're just going to kind of show you how you can incorporate it into your toolbox. We're going to build a stopwatch. We're going to build a timeout screen to kind of stick people there. Maybe talk about the fact that other people use it to do things like animations and make controls do different stuff. So we're just going to have a little bit of fun. I'll also be real honest. It is 11:03 p.m. on a Friday night. And I felt so bad that I hadn't made a video this week that I sent the whole family to bed and I came back down here to make you guys a video. This is truly a labor of love. What was I doing all week? It turns out that demand for PowerApps consulting, having me hop on and help people fix PowerApps, is at an all-time high. So I spent all week fixing other people's PowerApps, and that's where this idea came from. So let's just hop over and give it a look. Okay, so over here on my desktop, we'll open up PowerApps, and I've just got a blank screen as usual, because I like to start from here. And so the first thing we'll just do is let's just insert a timer control. So we're going to go to Controls, and then Timer, and I put it on the screen, bammo, whammo. And yes, if you're wondering, I'm going to build another one of these beautiful solutions that looks like MySpace from 1995. What do you do? So the timer control by default, it is set to run for 60 seconds. And key thing here is that it's in milliseconds. So you kind of have to do some math to make it work, which is rather annoying. There is no way to change it and tell it you want to, type in minutes or hours or any of that. So a little nuance that we have to kind of deal with. But by default, it just kind of works, right? If we hit preview and we click on the button, it will start counting up and it'll count to 60. Okay, not very interesting. If I hit the button though, it will pause, start, stop. So that's how the control works, but that's not what I'm finding most people actually want to do with it, right? So like the guy I worked with today, he wanted to time some work that his factory people were doing. So he wanted to be able to like say start job, hit the start button, go away, and then hit the stop button when they came back and be able to log that data. So let's kind of look at how I would do that for him. All right, so we have the timer here, and there's a few different properties that go with the timer. So duration, we talked about that being in milliseconds. But there's some other fun ones, and the fun ones that I want to talk about for a second here are you have things like on timer end. So what do you want to do when this timer ends? Or on timer start, what do you want to do when it starts, right? So that's kind of like your on select for your buttons. You can have activities automatically fire. And a lot of solutions that people build to kind of automate things, they just have those type of start actions. You also can see up here at the top, I have an auto start. And so auto start, this is something you might use like when they land on the page, if you want to start, how long did it take them to read it? You can auto start as soon as the page loads, and then when they leave it, grab the time or something. So auto start, auto pause, just in case you're wondering what that one does. I haven't used this one before, but that's how you determine whether or not the control pauses when you leave the page. So by default, it does. So if someone navigates away from this page, then the timer automatically stops. That may or may not be the behavior you want. So that's what auto pause controls. Other commands here that are probably worth noting. So there is a start. And so you can see that by default, start is false. And so this is one of our keys because what I wanted to do was I wanted to make it so that there was a big start button on here. It's not intuitive to my users to click on the timer to get it to start. So what I did, I'm going to grab a button right here and put it on here. We'll name this button a start. And so my start button, what I'm going to do when you click on that button is I'm going to say update context. And I'm going to make a variable for timer called timer go. And we're just going to set that to true. Oh, but lowercase t, of course. So just like that. And so then the idea is you then go back to your timer. And so you set the start instead of the false, you set that to be timer go. So look, so now if we do a preview, if I hit the start button, my timer automatically starts. Kind of cool, right? So I then said, well, I need a stop button. So what am I going to do for a stop button? Well, I'm going to insert another button here. I'm going to drag it down here, and we will call this the stop button. Boom, just like that. And when that button gets pressed, we're also going to update context, but we're going to set timer go to false. And if we hit play, so start, we should start counting up here in a second. So sometimes you have to get the resets correct, right? So there you go. So I got it started, and then if I hit stop, so now it's paused at 4. If I hit start again, and then stop again. So what you have to be careful about, and it doesn't manifest itself in an actual app, but like when I'm testing here, it's real easy for me to get the button out of sync. And the best way to know what's going on with that, right? This is troubleshooting 101 for me. I'm gonna have a label on the screen that just says timer go, like that, and then like this. So things like that seem silly, and you wouldn't want that in the real app, but I use this while I'm trying to learn about this stuff and troubleshoot what's going on. So that's where I realized like earlier that I had started the app. Right? So I went over here, I hit start. Okay, so the timer's going, I go away. And then when I come back, I'm like, why isn't the timer going? Well, the reason the timer's not going, even if I hit start, is because I'm not changing the value. So I had to hit stop to set it back to false, start again to get it to go, right? So I know, really confusing. Don't overthink what I just said. Just know that it's really easy when you're trying to understand what's going on here, is put what the variable value is on the screen so you can be less confused about why things are or aren't happening. Okay, so we'll stop that. All right, so start and stop, that was pretty straightforward. What I then wanted to do though is I wanted to have a reset. Turns out that was a little tougher for me. And so to do a reset, let's do a button. We'll drag it down here. Oh, we'll try again. And so with reset, we'll say reset. What we need to do is there is actually a property of this guy, look at this, called reset, and it is set to false. Okay. So what I figured out, and this is, maybe there's a more elegant solution, but I couldn't find it. This is the only solution I could find to do a reset. Is what I do is if I want to reset it, I'm going to say update context, and we're going to create a variable called reset please, and we'll set that to true. Oh, but I did not do my syntax right. You guys should have told me to stop. Boom, so like that. Okay, so then what that'll do is that will reset it, but then it will just leave it in this permanent reset state. So then what you need to do is you're going to actually go up here, and you're going to do a semicolon, and you're going to do another update context, and you're going to set the variable right back to false. And so I tried to put the reset please, true, and then just did a comma and then false here. You can't put them both inside there, so you just have to have the two separate commands. Right, so we're going to set it to true, which will blank the variable back out to 0, and then we're going to set our variable right back to false, so we're back to working. If you don't set the variable back to false, then it's just stay permanently resetted, and it just doesn't work. So what we'll do is we'll say play, so we'll say start. Okay, there's 2 seconds. We'll say stop, and 3 seconds. Oops. Now we'll hit reset. It flashes a 0, and we should be able to hit start again, and it's back to counting. Whew. A little timer control makes me nervous with all these little settings. All right, and we'll stop it again because we know that messes up if I don't. All right, so that gets us a timer that is working. So then now what we want to do is let's say that we want to record the event and reset, right? So now I'm going to say record and reset. And so here what we'll do is we're going to take this, we'll update the context, or before we update the context, right? And we're actually going to delete all this out, or we're not going to delete it all. We're going to put it in the clipboard, right? So we're going to control exit because it's easier to type the new thing. But so now we're going to collect the data. So I'm going to do a collect, and we'll call this timing results. And then what do we want to do? We're going to collect time, and the time is going to be our good buddy timer1, right? Dot, and then there is a text. So it's saving text, which is really weird. You think it'd be a value, a number, but whatever. Who am I to judge? So we'll do like that. So then that will put that in a collection for us. And we'll do a semicolon, and then we'll put our variable stuff back on the end to reset it. All right. And then, so now that we have that data, let's add ourselves a gallery over here. And for the gallery, we'll do timing results, and we will do just a simple title. It'll be time. All this will be marvelous. So what we're going to do, we're going to hit play. So we'll start, we'll stop, record and reset. Boom, 1 second. Start, 1, 2, 3, stop, record and reset. Boom. Well, that's when I promised to start. We'll stop. Oh no, we want to keep going. We'll start, we'll stop, and record and reset. Awesome, right? So now you've got a timer control that is putting things here on the screen. We're taking advantage of it. We're recording, resetting it. We're putting it in a collection. And now that you know how to put it in a collection, you know you could do the same thing. If you need to write that off to your SharePoint, your list, or your Excel data, or your SQL tables, wherever you're writing it to, you now have the understandings of how to do that. Also, one last thing here, what we might want to do is maybe we don't want people to know, right? So we could change the visible. This comes up a lot also. Nobody wants to know they're being timed. So we'll hide the timer, but same deal. Start, stop, record and reset. So it was 2 seconds. So the timer still works even if it's not shown on the screen. Cool. Okay, so that is my generic stopwatch utility. Really, that was all about teaching you how to use those start and stop buttons. And let's put this control back to being visible because it just weirds me out when I can't see it. Boom. So let's look at one other thing I like to do with this particular guy. So let's create a new screen, and we're going to call this the timeout screen. So timeout. And so on this screen, I'm going to add a timer control. So we'll say timer, and we will set him to be, instead of 60 seconds, we'll set this to be 10 seconds, like so. And then we'll put a little label on here, and we'll say, you can't leave timeout. Right? Kind of like for my kids. Ah, you are stuck. There you go. So you can't leave timeout. And so then on this screen, we'll give them a button. We'll say, button, try timeout. And so when they do that, we will navigate them to that screen. So let's navigate them to the screen like so. All right, so that would send somebody over to my screen. And so then what we're going to do, we got this 10-second guy. We're going to do a couple things. One is we're going to set the auto start. So where's that? Way up here at the top. So we'll say auto start is true. So that way when they get to the page, it will just automatically start. And then what we'll also say is on timer end. So when the timer is over, when timeout is over, navigate back to screen 1, do a little cover like that. And so just like that, if we go over here, we'll say play, and we'll say try timeout, and they can't leave, right? So this is one of those things I have to remind people about with PowerApps, is they can only get to screens that you give them the ability to get to, and they can only go somewhere from this screen when you give them the ability to go somewhere, right? So if you don't give them buttons to get to a screen, they can't get there. If you drop them on a screen with a timer without any buttons to leave it, they're stuck on that screen until you let them out. So where I've been using this is I've been playing with an app that we'll do a video on soon that is a password entry app, right? So you put in your password to get to a hidden screen. And if you put in the wrong password 3 times, I send you to timeout for a minute to punish you for typing in bad passwords. So this is the type of stuff that you have to kind of be thinking about, right? Because when we talk about, you should be creating screens that have like your documentation on them, or, you know, all your administrator notes. And as long as you don't give a navigation option to get to those screens, no one could ever get to them. So you don't have to worry about the, you know, it's not security by obscurity. It's security by, I didn't get you a way to access that screen, so you can't get to it unless you have access to come into the editor and edit it. So other things that people use the timer control for, if you're curious, is, you know, you've ever seen any of the videos like with animated, you know, spinning images or stuff, they'll use the timer for that, or the timer to have like the color sprinkle on. I don't know. You guys have seen my designs. I am not very good at pretty, so I have not done any of that in the real world, but that's what I've seen other people do. So hopefully you found this video useful. I don't know. It's, now past my bedtime, so I should probably go to bed. But I won't until I get this video out because I feel bad that we didn't do it earlier. Anyway, thanks. Have a great day. Hey, it's me again. Just a reminder, if you don't mind, click the old subscribe button over here. That always helps me out. Or if you want to work together, you can always hit me up through the Bold Zebras. Or if really what you want is some more of these Power App videos, which is probably what you want, then the playlist is somewhere on the screen here. All right, thanks. Have a great day.